The last time I spoke to my best friend, she was halfway out the door when she turned around and said, "I hope you know I tried." I just stood there frozen, and now I play that moment over in my mind wondering what she needed me to say. I was standing in the kitchen, holding a chipped coffee mug, staring at the same crack in the floor tile I'd seen 1,000 times. Cassidy was halfway out the door when she stopped, looked over her shoulder, and said it. "I hope you know I tried." That was it. She didn't wait for me to say anything. She just left. The door clicked shut behind her, soft but final. I didn't even move. I couldn't. She was gone and I didn't say a word. We'd been best friends for almost 20 years. Grew up in Tempe, Arizona. She lived 3 houses down from me. The first time we met was in 6th grade. Some older boys were teasing her on the bus, and I told them to screw off. After that, we were a pair. My home was loud, angry, always on edge. Hers was warm and smelled like cinnamon rolls. She had 2 little brothers who looked up to her like she hung the damn moon. Her parents called me their bonus daughter. We were close, real close. The kind of friendship where you don't need to say much because the other person already knows. But the older we got, the more complicated everything became. I started working at a local repair shop after high school. Never made much, but it paid the bills. Cassidy went to community college, then started working for a nonprofit in Phoenix helping people with addiction and housing. She always wanted to fix things. People. Systems. Me. For a long time, I leaned on her more than I should have. Whenever I was broke, when I got dumped, when I spiraled, Cass was there. She always showed up. And I didn't always do the same. Still, she never complained. Not once. She'd just show up, clean up the mess, and keep going. Until about a year ago, when something changed. She stopped coming by as often. Started canceling plans. Got quiet. Distant. I thought maybe she was just tired. Burned out. Her job was hard, and I figured maybe she needed space. So I gave it to her. I didn't ask questions. I didn't push. That's the part that kills me. Because the truth came out later. Not from her, but from someone else. And when I found out what had been happening, when I realized what she'd been carrying alone, because she didn't think I'd care enough to notice, I wanted blood. She hadn't just walked away from me. She had been pushed, lied to, used, by someone close to both of us. And I let it happen right under my nose. It started to unravel about 3 weeks after she left. I hadn't heard from her since that day. I texted twice. Got nothing. I didn't call. I told myself she needed time, but the truth was I was scared. Scared to find out what I did wrong, or worse, what I didn't do at all. Then I ran into Rachel. Rachel worked with Cassidy. They weren't close, but they went to the same meetings sometimes. We crossed paths at the grocery store. She looked uncomfortable the second she saw me. "How's Cass?" I asked. Rachel hesitated. "You don't know?" That's when everything changed. Turns out Cassidy didn't leave because she was tired of me. She left because someone close to both of us made her life hell. And that someone was my boyfriend at the time, Aaron. Aaron had always rubbed her the wrong way. She never said it out loud, but I could tell. She'd go stiff around him, her smiles tighter, shorter. I just thought she was being protective, maybe a little jealous. That's what Aaron told me, too. "She's got this thing about control," he said once. "She needs to be the center of your world. It's not healthy." I believed him. I didn't know he'd been harassing her. Not physically. He was too smart for that, but emotionally, verbally, constantly pushing boundaries. Calling her at weird hours, checking in, making jokes that weren't jokes, making her feel unsafe. Cassidy told him to stop. Repeatedly. She asked me once, quiet and careful, "Does Aaron ever say things that feel off to you?" I laughed. I laughed and said, "Nah, he's just awkward." I didn't see the look on her face back then, but I remember it now. Clear as day. Rachel told me Cassidy had filed a formal complaint with the nonprofit board. Aaron was one of the board members. He got in through connections I didn't even know he had. She accused him of inappropriate behavior, intimidation, retaliation. 2 weeks later, Cassidy quit her job. No explanation. No public reason. Just walked out. Like she walked out on me. She hadn't wanted to tell me. She thought I'd pick him. And the truth? She wasn't wrong. I did. I defended him. I stayed with him. I didn't believe her. That's what she meant when she said, "I hope you know I tried." She tried to protect me. Tried to stay. Tried to make it work. And I stood there with a damn coffee mug in my hand and let her walk out. But I wasn't going to let it end there. Because if Aaron thought he could destroy the only real friendship I ever had and walk away clean, he didn't know me as well as he thought he did. I started digging. Aaron was slick. I'll give him that. He covered his tracks well. Most people saw him as charming. Funny, even. He knew how to talk just the right way to get people to trust him. He dressed sharp. Donated to the right causes. Said all the right words in meetings. But I knew where he kept his spare phone. He used to joke about it. Called it his side hustle line. Said it was for old contacts, business stuff. I never had a reason to check it. Until now. I waited until he was in the shower. The second the water started, I dug it out of the drawer under his socks. It was locked, but he was lazy with passwords. Same 4 digits for everything his birthday. I punched it in. What I found made my blood run cold. Dozens of texts to Cassidy. Most of them short. Some were obviously meant to look harmless, but the tone was off. Miss your face. Don't be like that. I know what you really want. The worst one was a voice memo. I played it on speaker, hand shaking. You can act cold all you want, Cass, but you and I both know you like the attention. Don't forget I know things about you. You don't want to make this messy. He sounded calm. Smug. Like he was in control. I wanted to smash the phone right there. But I didn't. I needed proof. I took pictures. I forwarded everything to my email. Then I put the phone back exactly where I found it and walked out of the apartment with the same calm he used in that message. I didn't go home. I drove to Cassidy's parents' place. I hadn't been there in years. It felt wrong showing up uninvited, but I needed to see her. Her mom answered the door. She looked older, thinner. But she still smiled when she saw me. "She's not here, sweetheart," she said gently. "She's staying with a friend in Flagstaff for a while." I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. Her mom looked at me a long time, like she wanted to say something but didn't. She didn't want to go, she finally said. She was hurting. She still is. I left my number. Told her to have Cassidy call me. She didn't promise anything. I didn't expect her to. I drove home in silence. Aaron was waiting on the couch when I got back. He looked up from his phone and smiled. "Hey, where'd you go?" "Nowhere," I said. "Just needed air." He nodded. Went back to scrolling. I went to the bedroom, shut the door, and started making a list. Not a list of things to do. A list of people. People Aaron had hurt. People who might know more. People who might be ready to talk, if someone finally asked the right questions. Because Cassidy wasn't the only one. And if I was going to take him down, I needed to be smart. I needed to be ready. And most of all, I needed to make sure he never did this to anyone again. It took me 3 weeks to gather everything. I started small. Quiet. I went back through old photos, emails, even casual convos I'd had with friends. There were little things. Tiny red flags I'd missed for years. Women who stopped hanging out. Friends who pulled back without saying why. Cassidy wasn't the first. She was just the one who fought back the longest. I reached out to 3 women I knew he'd worked with, past coworkers, friends of friends. At first, no one wanted to talk. But once I shared what I found, especially the voice memo, it changed. The stories came pouring in. The same patterns. Same tactics. Late-night messages. Comments that were just jokes. Threats when they didn't laugh. He wasn't just a creep. He was calculated. One of them, a woman named Bree, said he threatened her job. Told her he could make things difficult if she didn't play nice. She never reported it. Said she didn't think anyone would believe her. I believed her. By the end of that 3rd week, I had a file. Screenshots, messages, statements. I didn't go to the cops. I went to the nonprofit board first. They were still investigating Cassidy's claim, but quietly. Nobody wanted a scandal. Too late. I sent the file to every board member. Anonymous at first. Just the facts. Then I followed it with a signed letter. I told them who I was. What I'd seen. What I'd ignored. I told them I lived with him. Slept next to him. Trusted him. And I was done protecting him. That same night, I left the apartment for good. He texted me 3 times before noon the next day. The last one said, "You think anyone's gonna believe you over me?" So, I posted everything. I didn't name the victims. I kept their privacy safe. But I named him. And I didn't hold back. I laid out the timeline. Shared the screenshots. Shared the voice memo. It went viral in our circles. Then beyond. He was fired within 2 days. The board issued a public apology to Cassidy. His lawyer sent me a cease and desist. I framed it. I found out later he tried to apply for work in California, but every time someone looked him up, my post was the first thing that popped up. Turns out, Google remembers everything. I thought that would be the end. But it wasn't. Because one morning, about 6 months later, I got a knock at the door. It was Cassidy. She looked different. Lighter. Stronger. But her eyes were the same. She didn't say anything at first. Just looked at me, and I looked at her. I read it, she finally said. "I should have believed you," I said, my throat tight. She nodded. "Yeah, you should have." We stood there a minute longer. "I'm not here to forgive you," she said. "I'm here to thank you for burning it all down. I wanted to ask if we could ever be what we were, but I didn't. Some things break too deep." "I hope you're good," she said. "I'm trying." She smiled, small and tired. "Yeah, me too." Then she turned around and left again. And this time I let her go. But not in silence. "Cass," I called after her. She stopped at the end of the walkway. "I know you tried. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner." She didn't turn around, just nodded. Then she was gone. I live quieter now. I keep my circle small. I don't let charm talk louder than truth. And when I hear someone say he's harmless, I listen harder. Because I missed it once. I won't miss it again.